Yo, yo, what's
Yo,
going
what's
on, man?
good? What's good? How we
One
doing?
man down.
Yep.
He hasn't got back to us yet. He said he's not feeling right, is he?
Yeah, said he's been bedbound for a few days, so hopefully he's all
Is he
good.
still in Japan?
I'm not sure, you know. I did just watch. I was just like watching Gami's video, and I saw
Yeah.
him. I saw that he was in the video there, like he's all getting food and stuff.
Oh, was he?
But I don't know if he's still out there or not.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm not sure. He said he was going for his birthday, wasn't he? But I wasn't sure what day his birthday was, so I don't know if I missed it or not.
yeah. I don't know if it was, but he did a post on it. He posted on his story saying like another year or something. So I'm guessing it was a
Oh,
couple of
when
days
was
ago.
that? Oh
Sorry.
shit. When was that? A few days ago.
Yeah, a couple of days ago, but yeah, it'd be
Oh
alright.
shit. I'm a bad friend. I'll message him.
Yeah.
What's been going on with you?
Um, just normal stuff, man. Yeah, I've finally finished scripting my next vid, so I filmed it yesterday. I'm
Nice.
just cutting it down, and then hopefully I might try and get it finished today, ready for Sunday.
Yeah.
Um, and then other than that, yeah, just trying to onboard people still. I've had a bit of a weird like couple of weeks with like sales calls, just a lot of ghosting and
Oh
people
really?
not turning up to like follow up calls and stuff. So yeah, I'm just trying to rework it.
Mm.
I did speak to my guy to Daniel, and he was like, it's just a wave. We kind of had that in the start of the year, just loads of no shows and ghosting.
Yeah.
So he said it just comes in waves. It's kind of like anything really. So just keep going and
Right.
it should smoothen out.
Yeah, it'll be like anything. You'll probably have some months where everyone shows up, and then some months where it just doesn't
It's just
work
that
like
time of
that.
year or something.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
getting
yeah,
close to
what you been
summer
on?
as well.
Yeah, yeah. What you been on
Um,
with?
just trying to finalize the bundle at the moment.
Mhm.
I've pretty much done everything. There's a few things left over to do. I've still got some more sounds to make, but for the most part, I've pretty much got everything back. All the vocal phrases are ready. I've done like the kit design and everything, so everything's looking the part. There's just at the end when you just need to go back through everything and pick out the best sounds and get rid of any that aren't quite hitting.
Mhm.
So I usually make a ton of sounds and then I'll just narrow it down. So I just need to narrow it down a little bit more, and then start preparing some content for it.
Yeah. Nice man.
So we're almost there. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
due to drop on the 30th. Yeah, Friday 30th of May. But I'm away next week, so I just wanted to make sure I had most things wrapped up. And then when I'm back, I'll be back like working on like either the 17th or the 19th. So I'll have that one last week to kind of give it a final push. I want everything wrapped up by like the 23rd, really.
Yeah.
Even though it
Yeah.
drops on the 30th, but I just want to keep making those content, like short form content, maybe some for ads, and just get everything on the back end set up as well.
Yeah, I think that's the main thing. Like, it's the big enough job getting the kit finished, but then then it's like that's like one
Yeah,
part of it, and then it's
the
like
marketing of it is
yeah,
crazy.
prepping all the content, making sure it's all it's all lined up, ready to go.
Yeah, there's so
Yeah.
much involved that people don't realize because I'm sure you've had the same where people will just say to you, "Oh, is there money in kit sales then?" And it's like, well, there can be money in selling everything, but
Yeah, yeah.
don't think people understand how much has to go into building a profitable like kit site. Sometimes
Mhm.
people can get away with just selling like one kit, if they're an established producer and maybe they've got a name behind them. So it can work just kind of dropping a kit because people want to use the sounds that those people are using. But at the same time, it's like to turn it into a full business is way more involved than just creating sounds. It's like you actually need to market that shit,
Mm.
making tutorials, short form content, potentially ads, depending on where you're at, building a landing page, email sequences. There's loads, man.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot, isn't it? It's like it's one thing to make a good product, but if you're not putting it out in front of people, it's not going to do anything really. It'll do something for your core audience, but again, you need
Mm.
to build that core audience up with content. So it's like there's no
Yeah,
shortcut around having any kind of reach when it comes to you know having a decent amount of people to show you stuff to.
yeah,
Um,
fully.
yeah, and it is kind of difficult. I say to people like now, I've had a few guys on the call saying they want to like sell kits and sell sample packs and stuff potentially on the side, you know, like as some kind of income.
Yeah.
And they're wanting to do it like soonish, and I'm like, I wouldn't worry about it right now. I'd say if I could give you any recommendation, like in hindsight, I would have not even sold a single item for like a year and a half, 2 years, and really just focused on getting good at YouTube and having a few breakout videos, and that's like the primary focus is just giving as much value out and practicing it, getting good at, you know, giving value. And then once you've got an audience and you've built, you know, you're getting consistent 2, 3, 4K views a video, and people are like, you know, people are asking for stuff like where you're getting your sounds from. Like when there's more of a demand, then drop a kit. Like don't worry about making money at this point, because I know it's tempting and you really want to do it ASAP, but it's just going to be a lot harder, and then it's going to slow your growth down as well, because you're trying to kind of sell stuff to someone who, you know, to people before you even built trust. So
Yeah, fully.
yeah.
You do have to build up a reputation. I think when I first did it, my first products were definitely free.
Yeah.
I was making a lot of tutorials, and I can't remember when I dropped my first loop kit, but it was just always there in the description. I was always making tutorials, and then I just collected a big email base just from providing free loops. And then I think I sold my first kit when I hit 1,000 subscribers, because it was like a way to celebrate, like just hit 1K, dropping my first kit. And I remember it selling kind of well for like at the time anyway, because I only had 1,000 subscribers and I wasn't making any money at that point. And that was the thing that made me realize, fuck man, there's like money in this.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But that came from posting a lot of tutorials and providing value with free loops as well. So it wasn't just like, right, set up a YouTube channel, I've got a kit to sell straight away.
Yeah.
I think that's not as effective compared to what you said, just building up some trust, some value,
Yeah.
and actually just getting good at YouTube first as well, and making decent tutorials, because people will want to spend money with you after a while, because you would have provided so much value. It's like, right, how can I give back to this guy?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's always that thing of like, it's that as well, and it's also like it's giving away all this for free. So it's like, you know, the actual premium products, even if it's a little bit better, I know it's going to be very good quality, you know, regardless of you know, how good it actually is. So
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And I think that's a good thing as well. Like, you know, for most guys starting out, it's probably a good idea to, on the very least, just whatever video you put out, just include the free project file or the stems. Just do whatever you've put in the video, just give that away for free or something, you know, just give something away for free at the bottom. Just make one landing page to capture an email, and then just send them to like a Dropbox folder with all your projects or whatever you got in there, and just yeah, just do that in the beginning, you know, nothing else, just keep it simple to begin with, collect a few emails and then go from there.
yeah, the emails are huge, man. And also don't wait like too long, because I've seen some people will collect loads of emails and then they won't send anything to them for like
Yeah.
2 years, and they're like, I've got these thousands of emails, but I don't know what to do with them. It doesn't mean that you have to push any sales through emails, but even just nurture your list. So, for example, maybe every few weeks you could just send out an email blast, just maybe providing some more value, some tips, for example, set up an automation that way. Just kind of checking in, just so people remember your name. You could even, you don't have to do it every time, but you could, when you post a new video, you could send people a link to that, you know, just saying that, oh, you've been working on these new tips and techniques. You think they'll find the video useful, and then provide the link. Just something as simple as that, just to keep your name in people's inbox, because people's inbox just gets flooded with shit. So it's important to just have that presence.
Yeah, 100%. And another little trick as well, like, I know it's boring writing emails, so one thing I've learned through I think it might have been Ed Lawrence or something, but you just get, there's a Google extension where you can take the transcript from a video, from your own video, obviously not someone else's. But,
Yeah.
so whenever you drop a video, just take your script or the transcript from YouTube, paste it into like ChatGPT, and just ask it to reformat into an email. So then you're given as much value in an email as you are in the video, and
Yeah.
it's been sort of translated into a readable format for an email. And then just shoot that out. Yeah, line them up, shoot them out once a month, once every couple weeks, and then one thing as well that Dan, I've heard from Dan, is like they're just setting up like any high performing email that's got a lot of value in it. They're just putting them to the side, and just keeping the tabs on them and then when they've got 12 or 24, they're just going to have them on loop all year round. And then New Year comes, it's going to loop again because people forget, what the email is, and there's going to be new subscribers on at that
So it
point.
has the same email looping.
Yeah, it's going to be like January 1, like value email, February all the way through, and then it just restarts.
Right.
And obviously
interesting.
Yeah, because he was just like, he asked me, he's like, do you ever remember like, what certain emails have said like a year later? That I was like, no, not really. Like maybe if I'm really looking out for someone's email, I'll remember what they've said like a couple months down the line. But you don't really, do you? You just
nah.
It's in and out.
You skim read it, and you might remember something, but you're not really remembering that. I wouldn't remember if someone sent me the same email.
Yeah, exactly. And you're getting new people on anyway, so those people are, again, he's exposing them to a good email. So why not just keep it running?
Yeah. And also, one other thing for people thinking about starting a kit site is making sure the actual product is sick as well, not just like stealing sounds and renaming them, or I think these days you have to go the extra mile. I think people could get away with that for a while, couldn't they, where it was like a straight up recycled kit, because it's a tough one because we do use recycled sounds like the spins and the Zay, for example, because they're so goated and they just work every time. So when new producers come on the scene, it's like they want those exact sounds that people are using. But when you sell a kit that just has recycled sounds, it's like you're going to get people who are annoyed because they've got those same sounds in every other kit. But then you'll get some people that are happy because they're new to production and they don't really understand like what the recycled sounds are. They just want the popping sounds. But I think in the long run, like building up a good reputation is going to come down to going the extra mile with your kits. Obviously providing value through content, emails, everything like that. Building up trust, but just making sure the product is actually sick as well. You want someone to buy your kit and think, fuck, this is crazy, like never heard anything like this before. Like this is why I come to this guy's site for his kits.
Yeah.
Because if someone buys something and they're underwhelmed, the likeliness of them buying another kit is very slim.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, you sell something to someone where the offer's insane and it's like, I have to buy this. Like, there's too much in this. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
Not even just like quantity, but just like it could be the level of quality, or I don't know. There's ways to make it creative, right? But I think just having that good first impression means a lot, because that's what's going to make people come back. And then you're not chasing new customers again and again and again. It's like you're going to have a solid list of people who are just going to come back and buy whatever you post because they trust your work so much.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like the worst thing that can happen with a really good kit is that someone buys it once and they don't tell anyone about it, but they buy it and they're a fan of you and stuff. That's the worst thing that can happen. It's like, they could then tell their producer boys and Discords about it if it's, if you're putting out good kits, like, oh yeah, check this guy out if you want these like solid kits. Some guys just will make a video on it, they'll just be like, oh yeah, let me review this for a YouTube video, or the word of mouth. Like, it's just, there's nothing bad that can come from putting out as good as possible kit as that you can at the time. Prime example is like
the one that's getting pulled up in sessions, don't you? Where it's like, people are looking at the screen like, what sound you using? Like, what kit's that? You want that to be your kit.
Yeah, exactly. So, I'll make sure you put out good, and it's the same for everything, really, isn't it? As long as you're putting out good products, do good business, it's like there's nothing really bad that can come from it. Yeah,
it's the same with videos. You put out an amazing video, people talk, man. Like the community talks, like word spreads. So people might see a video and have to share it with their producer friends or in a Discord chat or wherever it might be. So
yeah, exactly. It's important. Yep. But what else is going on with you, man?
So bundle is the main thing at the moment. In early stages of plugin. I really want to drop a plugin. And so I won't speak about it on the podcast, but I've shared my ideas with you. I'm just looking for the right developer at the moment. I might have someone, but I haven't pulled the trigger yet. So that's going to be the next thing. I
Nice.
think as soon as I drop one plugin, that will just encourage me to do more and more, depending on how that performs. But I think that's going to be the next step for me. And apart from that, um, yeah, that's mainly it. Just like YouTube at the moment, the bundle plugin is going to be the next step because I've never dropped one. But work-wise, that's been it, man. And then outside of that, just been training because I'm away next week. I've just been doing like a little mini cut for a few weeks, so calorie deficit, getting more cardio in.
Yeah.
And even though I'm quite slim, I just wanted to like shed a little bit of fat just before holiday. You know what I mean? There's a beach there. It's like
Yeah.
anytime you got your top off, you wanna look a bit better. But I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
only doing it for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Nice. Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, I've just started a cut as well. I was bulking for like a year, like intentionally, and then
Hmm.
more recently I've just kind of been doing whatever, just eating enough protein throughout the day, but not really tracking anything, like tracking my
Yeah.
protein. That's right. So now I'm just like, let me actually try and stick to a bit of a cut. So yeah, I'm on like 1,800 calories. Really trying to get my
I've been
steps
doing
back
as
in
well.
again.
It's
Sorry.
hard, isn't it? So
Yeah.
that's the same shit I've been doing as well. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit tricky because like I'll have my breakfast and then you start running out of like carbs that you can eat. And you start running out of,
Yeah.
the only thing that I'm good with is like still fine with is like just getting the protein in. It's the same. That's
Hmm.
like a decent amount, but it
Yeah.
means you obviously if you're getting enough of that in, it means everything else goes down. So it's like shit. I can't. You can't have this with your eggs. You can't have
Yeah.
this with your chicken at the end of the day. So I'm like shit. I need to. I'm trying to like
Yeah, it's
pull the
tough.
reins in. Yeah. But it's going all right though. It's going all right. I think the main thing is just getting the steps in as well. Obviously the foods. It's not. It's a little bit. It's a little bit hard because I've only been doing it for like 5 days, but your stomach soon gets used to it, and then after that, it's just remembering to get the steps in and keep going to the gym.
Yeah. It's interesting to see like the effects as well. Like it's only been 3 weeks, and I know I've lost a little bit of weight, which was intentional. But also, do you have an Apple Watch? Do you use them all?
Nah, I don't.
So I only started using them recently, but it popped up with a notification recently saying my resting heart rate has dropped, which is like a good thing. It's like a sign that your cardiovascular health is getting better. So I was like, oh shit. It's like kind of encourages you to do more then, because I'm like, oh, I've only been doing more cardio for like 3 weeks, and already my resting heart rate's dropping. And
Yeah,
there's like signs to say you're becoming healthier. So I'm like, oh shit, that's actually pretty sick.
yeah,
But then as soon as I get back from holiday, I'm going bulk mode, man. So I'm just gonna be eating everything again.
yeah.
That heart
Your
rate's
resting
going right
heart rate
back
has
up.
gone back up.
Yeah. It's good to know you can make it happen.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I saw a funny video the other day. It was like as soon as everyone hits like 30, they just do high rocks. It's like everyone's on high
Yeah.
rocks these days.
Or marathons.
Marathon or high rocks, yeah, one of the two. Yeah, I'm seeing that pop up all over at the minute.
I don't know. I've just never wanted to go for a marathon. Like obviously it'd be good to say you've done one, but I don't know. I
The
just
prep
don't
for it.
enjoy running, man. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the amount of like, because you have to really taper up to it and then
Hmm.
peak, but just as the marathon's coming round, and then it's like best
Like your
chance at
whole
not.
training revolves around running and then
Mm,
marathon. Then it's not
yeah,
about weight training anymore, is it?
nah, you just doing a bit of strength just to prevent injury, but you're not actually making any gains. It's just there to support your body while you're running. So
Yeah. Hmm.
it's a little bit different, but yeah, it's cool though. I saw a bunch of like videos after the London Marathon. It was like me at mile 9, and they're all happy and like smiling, and then see the family, they hug, and it's like me at mile 23, and they're like crying and limping and got blisters. Like that
It
doesn't
would
look
be
fun.
brutal, man.
Yeah, yeah, it looks grim. But I bet
On
the
my run
feeling
the
once
other
you're
day,
done, huh?
on my run the other day, I put on David Goggins. Anytime you want to feel like motivated, just whack on one of his books or listen to him in an interview. He's just a crazy guy, isn't he?
Yeah,
But it makes you just not want to stop. So you'll be running, but you've got him calling you a bitch in your ear. It's
yeah,
like, right,
yeah,
I can't stop, man.
yeah. Have you seen what David Goggins sent to Joe Rogan on his birthday?
I don't know if I have.
He read it out. He was on so Joe was just doing a podcast with someone, and then they
Yeah,
were talking about David Goggins, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, he sent me a message on my birthday." It's the funniest thing. Let me see if I can find it.
that's jokes.
Birthday. I'll play it through the birthday text. There we go.
This day, 54 years ago, you took your first breath. When taking that first breath, it made you eligible to die. I hope you're not enjoying your day by sitting on the fucking couch with your feet up. Hopefully you're out there somewhere suffering, talking to that inner bitch. See, Joe, the inner bitch loves motherfuckers' birthdays. Why? Because it makes you an even bigger bitch. Because we feel it's our special fucking day, so we can just chill the fuck out. Most people wake up to just exist on this planet. So, Joe, if you haven't gotten the fuck after it yet, maybe you should. Happy fucking birthday. Goggins out. 6 exclamation points.
Crazy.
That was wild. That was funny.
Is that the extreme of the extreme?
I actually put up a Q&A last week, but we didn't do it, did we? I think it was last week. I'll pull it up because I know some people were asking some stuff.
Go for it.
I'll find it real quick. Here we go. So, it's funny whenever you put up a Q&A where it's like, ask us questions for the podcast, and then someone's like, do a tutorial on this.
Yeah.
What do you think of the current UK rap and music industry? That's from Elliot. Mine is, UK rap's been interesting recently because it feels like there's only Central C really holding the fort down in terms of, I guess, like popular music. There's an underground scene, and obviously people are still doing their thing, but nothing's really hit. Like, we haven't had any hits recently. No, like, number ones, no. I don't know, there's nothing that's been going, like, too crazy. I still like UK rap, still listen to a lot of people, but we spoke about this before, and we said, I feel like a lot of people right now are just trying to figure out what to do. Like, they're experimenting with different sounds. I'm hearing a lot of underground people come out with, like, hood trap beats, like Nems and stuff. Obviously, Nems as well is killing it, to be fair. With that, like, chill drill / like hood trap style as well. So there's people doing their thing, and I still like it, but it feels like it's in a strange state. It's hard to explain, but I think because we came off the back of drill where everything was going crazy for a while and the whole world was tapped in, and you had just people making like hits and real catchy stuff. Now after that, nothing's really hit the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I feel like it's just kind of, we're trying to find that sound again. Like, we're trying to find that UK sound because everything's kind of gone hybrid. You got like Nems on like sampled drill and like hood trap stuff, and then you got Central C obviously doing his thing. But yeah, it's kind of in that lingo kind of phase at the minute. But yeah, you're right. I think there is just a lot more like guys on a smaller, still like absolutely killing it. Like someone like Karaoke's and obviously Nems and those guys. Like there's people killing it, but it's like niche down almost now. It's almost like it's more, people can be more selective with who they want to listen to now. It doesn't have to be the pop guys. Obviously, you got Central C at the top. So I think Stormzy just dropped a new thing, but but there's no one. Yeah, I know what you mean. There's no breakouts at the minute. No one's really breaking out globally. It's mainly just like, if you're in the UK, you know about certain guys.
The thing is as well, like, not just in the UK, but people can be haters, man. Like, if one of these people did break out and go global, then they'd receive a lot of hate, and they think, oh, this is too popular. Like, I hate this guy, I can't stand him now, I've heard him too much. People like the come up story, but then when they're at the top, it's like, right, let's bring this guy back down now. Who does he think he is? People like that with Sench as well. Like, when he was on the come up, he had like mad support, and then as soon as he kind of got to that top level, he gets so much hate now from people. It's just so backwards. And the other thing is, you don't always need to have hits like that. Like, there's a lot of people who you would have never heard of who are making decent money, definitely a full-time living off just releasing music themselves, like independently, and just have a nice solid core fan base. There's a lot of people like that. Yeah,
exactly. It's like, like I said, guys like Karaoke's, I mean, he's getting, I'm pretty sure he's on the mill monthly listeners, which is crazy. Like, and he's like, you say it to, I mean, I'd say a lot of people know about him these days, but obviously not on the level of Central C, but that just goes to show you don't need to be up there anymore. You can just
Nah, you
do
don't,
your own
man.
thing. Yeah, 2.3 mil monthly listeners. So
And
it's
he can probably walk about still, and not everyone pulling him up.
yeah,
That would
exactly.
be a real nice life, to be honest. I don't know if he's signed, if he's done like a distribution deal or anything. I don't really know too much about his story, but yeah, almost 2.4 monthly listeners. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's like just streams. Like he's touring, doing shows, and doing stuff like that, brand deals, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like comes secondary, but that's where the bigger money comes as well. So yeah, you could easily make a comfortable living once you get. Also, I know it's easier said than done, but once you get to that point and you're consistent with it, and you've got your habits and your routines down, yeah, you're good at that point. It's just about having the discipline once you get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people say I want to blow up, but that's the exciting part. Once you get there, it's like you got to maintain it. And on a lower level for us guys, it's the same thing. Like we built our channels. We dropped a few kits to begin with that was successful, and it was great. Like it was a bit of a high. We were all having fun with it, and then
Yeah.
it's like, okay, but crap, now I need to actually maintain this because I can't just do this once and then that's going to be my living for the rest of my life. It's like you got to keep those habits going, keep uploading, keep the discipline, don't let it go to your head. So
Yeah, fully. But there's still money in music. A lot of
Yeah.
people say like streaming is like ruined music and everything, but I just really don't think it has. I think
Nah.
there's more people now making a living off music than ever before.
Yeah, that's it, man. And there's the people say it's ruined, but it really hasn't. There's always, even back in the day when it was selling CDs and records, people made shit CDs and records then they didn't sell. It's like
I
people
know,
are putting
yeah.
out shit music that
And you had
doesn't
to
get
put way
streamed.
more money up front because you had to
Yeah,
print the CDs and you had to go out and try and sell them, like
Yeah.
being on the street trying to sell them, or you had to hustle, man. But now it's just way more accessible. Like you can just upload your stuff to all streaming platforms, like probably within 24 hours.
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah,
So
exactly.
way more accessible. Obviously, like, everyone would like Spotify to pay people a bit more. That would be ideal. So I'm not saying it's perfect, but I think people get discouraged because they'll see clips from people saying like streaming's killed the music business and artists can't eat anymore because of streaming. It's like, I really just don't think that's the case. I
No.
think the people that say that are probably just not in the business that way, and I've never kind of experienced it, or just haven't put the work into to try and get there.
Yeah,
But
yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter what niche you're in if the work isn't there, if the work rate's not there. It's like what do you expect to get out of it, It's like, yeah. And then another thing is like it's all balanced out really. Like now it's more accessible. There's a lot of crap music putting out, but there's equally a lot more good music getting put out, which might even lean into the fact why there's not as many breakout artists anymore. But now it's like everyone's still getting their they're getting their respect and they're making a living from it without even having to be the top guy. They can live
yeah,
a comfy life and
seen it so many times with people just kind of your whole life could change overnight because of social media,
yeah,
which has
exactly.
never really been a thing. So there's still a lot of opportunity.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
But yeah, I think UK rap in general, kind of what we said, man. It's just at a bit of a strange place, but still a lot of opportunity. People are making shit happen, and it has just kind of broken off into different niches, hasn't it? Rather than one leading thing.
Yeah.
Let me go to the next one. Right, so how long have you been making music? Depends. I don't like saying like 10 years plus because I wasn't really on it like that then. But I remember making my first beat when I was probably like 16 or 17. So we're talking a long time ago. But that was only just a bit of fun. At first I was trying to record as an artist. So I was just making little beats here and there, but wasn't really taking it serious. It was only until like 2019, 2020 when I fully started producing, where I was like actually putting in the work. So I only like to say 5 or 6 years for producing.
Yeah.
How about you? It's been a bit longer for you, right?
Only a little bit, yeah. Like probably Same thing. Like just made it for fun. Like first downloaded FL Studio and like had to play around with it when I was in I think it was year 10 or year 9 at school. So what was that?
Yeah.
14, 15?
Yeah, 14 or something.
And then obviously didn't do anything with it. I just had the demo, didn't know what I was doing. And then came back to it in my first year at uni. I know, I messed around with it in sixth form and stuff. Again, just not really knowing what I was doing, making random genres. Not even genres, really. It was just shit. And then, came back to it in sixth form. Uni, first year of uni. And just kind of dabbled with it for a while and then really like knuckled down in my sort of back into my last year and kind of just worked through it up until that point. So, yeah, good like, what's that, 10 plus years, but properly since like 2017.
Right. Yeah.
No, that's not
right. I wonder
right.
how many hours we've put in. That would be interesting to know. Have we done our 10,000 hours, do you think?
Probably. Yeah, at this point, I'd probably say so.
Do you think? Because when I think about it, I like count the days and the hours and the days, but during the day I'm not spending all those hours making music. So I wonder how many hours I've actually spent like hands-on, like in FL Studio, just making music.
Yeah. I guess I feel like you put more hours in the early stages. Now we've got a lot of other things to juggle. The time in FL goes down a little bit, but
yeah, fully.
Yeah. Well, I'd say if we're not over 10k, we're probably close to it.
Maybe. Yeah. We'll get there soon.
Yeah.
Nasty said, "What's your best plugin ever?"
I don't know. I don't know. It's,
what's the goated plugin? Like top tier. Depends if we're talking instruments or effects. Let's just go instruments.
Oh man, I don't even know. I don't know.
It changes, doesn't it?
Yeah, you have like phases of using sort of one VST more than others, and then
could be
something else
Analog
comes
Lab
along.
though.
Huh?
Could be Analog Lab.
Yeah.
Just because there's so much
stuck
in
around. That one stuck around for a while.
Because then it depends. Like you could say Contact, but does that include all the banks on Contact? I don't think it
that's
can,
just a
'cause it's
placeholder,
too many
innit?
different plugins. Yeah. Maybe it is Analog Lab. I'll probably use that more than anything.
Yeah.
Or for a budget version, I think Expand 2 is pretty goated.
Yeah. Still open that to this day. So yeah, in
Uh-huh.
terms of longevity, probably those two. Yeah. What about
Alright, so-
what about effects?
Halftime.
Yeah.
Just so simple. And
Yeah.
so sick.
I'd probably
I still
say
use it all the time.
yeah. I'd say that or probably Valhalla vintage verb. It's so basic, it's only a reverb, but
Yeah.
it's like you use it basically on potentially you use it on every single sound in the mix in your beat, not all at once obviously, but like it's usable on every single sound basically, apart from the bass maybe not, but yeah.
I wonder what they did for their process to make that plugin, because it seems like they don't really do any marketing. They don't reach out to anyone for sponsors. They just put this reverb out there, and then everyone fucking loved it. And I don't think they thought that was going to happen. I think they just thought they were making another reverb plugin. I don't know though. Maybe they had a mastermind behind it.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, I wonder like how many people knew it was like of all the goated plugins. I wonder how many of them knew it was going to be as popular as it was, like Omnisphere and Halftime and Valhalla, all those things.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
Flack said, "What's the best decision you've made as a producer?" Starting YouTube, probably.
Starting, yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah, starting the tutorial channel. I think if I didn't start the tutorial channel, I would have carried on just uploading type beats, and that channel hasn't taken off the same way. Maybe it would have, because I would have been spending way more time and just fully niche down, but I think the tutorial channel was just the best decision ever, because that's led to the most opportunities.
Yeah, I think it's like another thing is like the best decision is like making the decision to just do the thing or like chase like the lifestyle you actually want to go for. So you could have like say you've got the work ethic and the discipline to have built a type beat channel, and you probably would have done it, made a living from it, but that might not have been a happy lifestyle for you. Maybe you was just like, man, I gotta keep making beats every day and like one every day, and it's like,
type of beat.
yeah, you're kind of stuck in that rat race. if you're happy doing that, great. That's a perfect lifestyle. But yeah, maybe that wasn't it. Maybe it was tutorials, having a business, a kit selling business that it's kind of
Yeah.
like passive, more passive. So yeah, it's just whatever lifestyle suits you, I guess.
So Tony Toksky said, "What's your future goal?"
Future goal.
Depends how far ahead we're talking. I'll say short term, release a plugin for me.
Yeah, I'd probably say probably scale up this like new sort of path I'm on at the minute. So a few
Mentorship.
financial goals and a bit more traveling, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of basic stuff, really.
Yeah. Sebas said, "What's the hardest thing for beginner producers to start doing / adding to their beats?" Hardest thing for beginners to start adding to their beats. I'm trying to think of, maybe it's just developing a good ear, but then that's not really adding something to your beats. I feel like when you first start, it's your sound selection that's off more than anything.
Yeah, probably that, and adding depth. Depth is really it's not as hard now, obviously, because we kind of know not the steps, but we know we know when a melody is at a point where we're happy with it and it is going to like translate well to most people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in the beginning it's kind of a bit of a mystery. So you either like I say, use kind of crap presets, the processing isn't there, the sonics, everything's fighting for space, but over time you learn like, okay, these textures can sit on the sides because they're not the main sounds. My chords want to be the forefront, man. It's easier to do it that way, and with your processing workflow develops to the point where you can make it just sound almost 3D. So I think in the beginning it's really hard to do that.
Although on the flip side, I'd say have fun in the beginning stage, because I feel like the beginner stage is the most experimental because you don't have any rules for yourself. Like when we're making beats, we might have go-to 808s that we pick. We might have go-to snares and everything, but when you're a beginner, you're literally just experimenting like crazy. You use the most like random sounds just because you like the sound of that one individual sound and don't know how it's going to sit in the context of the whole beat. But it's quite a fun stage because that's the stage that kind of defines you as you, if that makes sense. That's the stage that develops your taste, because you're just experimenting with so many different sounds. So embrace that stage, man. It's quite a fun stage, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so next one. What are some easy ways to switch hook verse? I think it means to switch from a hook to a verse. Probably just dropping some sounds, right? It's probably like the easiest way.
Yeah, cut the drums or add a drum fill, something like that.
Yeah.
Drop elements out of the melody as well. Just change something. Don't go from a straight hook to a verse. Just something in a little bar before that.
Yeah, it's weird. There's no rules, but there's just things that work. It's like for the most part, like most of the time, the hook will have the most energy. And usually high frequencies are associated with energy. So for example, if you had things like strings, anything in higher octaves, they might be in the hook because it's kind of giving that extra energy. So then in the verse, you drop those things out and slowly build them back up. Same with drums as well. You might have the most drums in the hook, but then start of the verse, you might take a few things out. Maybe slowly introduce like the hats and the 808 and then the kick. It's just like removing things and reintroducing them is the main thing. Let's see what we got. Best VSTs for trap and drill. Kind of covered that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Analog Lab and Expand 2 are really good for both, to be honest. Depending on what style of trap and drill you're trying to make. I always say, like, if you're going for realistic stuff, then Contact is the best, because you're probably going to have the highest quality banks for, like, violins, choirs, anything like that. But if you just need, like, synthetic sounds, so, like, pads, leads, even like keys and everything, like Analog Lab and Expand 2, like I feel like Expand 2 is just a really good
All
entry
around.
level one because you can get it for so cheap and it's like got so many different sounds in there.
Yeah.
It's amazing for pads as well, so definitely for trap and drill. Then also for if I'm going for more of like I guess like a South Side, like highly energetic trap beat, Electra X. I really like Electra X, you know, for
Yeah.
like the arps and the plucks and everything. Analog Lab V Pro or Omnisphere, if we're just choosing one.
Probably Analog Lab at this point for me. Just because
Yeah,
there's more packs, like people make packs for them, and it's all more people are on
more
it, so there's
relevant
more.
right now, isn't it?
Yeah, there's more things being made for it by other producers in whatever niche you're in. It's kind of like Serum, but for hip hop, you know.
Yeah. This is Effect said, what's the difference between melody and counter melody? And what part of the structure are they?
What does he mean? Like, I don't know what he
I
means.
think it's just when people are talking about melodies and counter melodies, but your melody is usually just the foundation of the beat, maybe the chord progression. Just it's like just the main melody of the beat.
Yeah, it's kind of what plays throughout the whole beat, basically, for the
Yeah.
most part. Yeah.
Counter melody for the most part would come in and out. It might just be a top line like a lead, or like a piano and like a higher octave. So just I guess just think of the melody as the foundation. It's usually what you'd start with, right? The chord progression, the thing that just carries throughout the whole beat, and then your counter melody is literally the counter melody that plays off of that one.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got. This is interesting. So how do you know when enough is enough in the mixing stage?
In the mixing stage.
Yeah, or we could answer it for both because that's a tough one to decide sometimes for a beat as well. Like when is enough enough? Like because we always want to add more sounds.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's going to be a different answer for everyone, so it doesn't really matter too much. Just keep going until you're happy, or if you're really not sure, just pull in an acapella and then keep going until subjectively you're like, okay, I feel like there's a good. I'm happy with the layers I've added, and there's also still space, you know, for an artist. But yeah, it totally depends, you know, like just depends on what you're going for, really. So enough's enough when you're happy, really. It's a bit of a bland answer, but I think you just kind of you get comfortable as long as once you get confident in your own ability, then you get comfortable with that, with being happy when, you know, when knowing enough's enough when you're just happy with how it sounds. Like we'll cook up, won't we, and we'll start adding sounds, we'll get the drums in, and then we just hit a point where we just like, you hear anything else? And we're just like, nah, not really. You know, as soon as you hit that point, you know, you're just adding stuff for the sake of it then.
Yeah, if you're thinking, I think one good indication is if you're thinking too hard about what to add next. I'll do this sometimes where like I'm making a beat and then I'm just scrolling through like loads of sounds for the sake of it just to see if anything stands out. But at that point, it might be a good indication if that the beat's kind of done. Because usually as you're cooking up, things just kind of come to you. It's like, all right, I need to add the snare, I need to add the hat, I need to do this. What fill would sound good there? And then everything's kind of flowing, and then you'll get to a point where it's like, right, what do I add next? And then you pull up kits, you start clicking through loads of stuff, and it's like, yeah, maybe I'm kind of forcing it now. It's done.
Yeah, exactly. And then with mixing as well, I'd say I'd say the mixing stage kind of happens while you're cooking up for the most part. Obviously, there's a few tweaks you can do at the end, like little bits of leveling to, you know, clean it up properly. But for the most part, whilst you're making your beat, I'd just say just keep asking yourself, like, let's say, you know, you've done your melody beat, adding your hi-hats, and you just think, okay, do I need to do anything to this? You know, if the answer is yes, then think about it, you know, reverb, delay, whatever you want to add to it. Same thing for your snare, same thing for your melodies. Just be like constantly asking yourself, like, do I need to do anything with this sound? Like, do I need to level it more? Do I need to pan it? Do I need to do any EQing on it? If you like how it sounds, then and the answer is no, then don't overthink it and think you have to do stuff. Just keep asking yourself that question, and then once you've finished the beat, if you do it in that way where you're just sort of processing as you go, once you get to the end, it's just let me just check the levels, arrange it, bounce it, you don't really need to do like a whole like mix phase where you sit down for an hour and add effects and do like random stuff
Yeah.
after the fact, you know.
Yeah, it's just overkill at that point.
Yeah.
I think with mixing, it's just doing things with intention, because producers have this thing where they feel like they have to do certain things because it's part of their usual process, or it's like a formula that they just stick to. And obviously that makes sense with like leveling and things like that, but people think you have to pull up an EQ on like every instrument.
Every
or
sound. Yeah.
you just have to do things for the sake of it, pull up a reverb, but you know what I mean? It could be anything, but I think just what you said, just listening to it and then just making a decision based on intention. So it's like, all right, you know what? Things aren't really sounding too bright. I'm missing a bit of high end, so maybe I need to boost the EQ. Or that 808 isn't slapping. Maybe I need to turn it up. Snares like not hitting through. Let's turn that up. It's just like doing things with intention rather than just like, okay, pull this up, pull an EQ, and it's like, why are you doing that though? Like, do you need to do it? I
Yeah,
think that's the main
exactly.
thing. That's why people say trust your ears, and it's kind of a tough thing to go off, because when you're a new producer, it's like, it's that meme, isn't it, where the guy's drowning and it's like, just trust your ear. It's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's one of those things that literally just comes with time. So it's just, say if you're a new producer, maybe have a listen to your favorite like type beats on YouTube where you really like the mix, or polished songs, like songs that you really like the mix on, and just kind of go off that. Like have a think about how loud the 808 is compared to the snare and compared to the hats and the melody, and then use that as a reference. Because dB readings alone, it's like, it's kind of hard to just go by
Can be
dB readings,
misleading,
because
yeah.
that's not perceived loudness. But once you've been mixing for a while, you kind of find like a similar dB for each sound that you're used to. Like your melody might sit somewhere around like -6, but again, it just depends. Your 808 might be clipping a little bit. Your kick will be probably clipping if it's like drill or trap. So you start understanding the patterns, but at the same time, there's nothing set in stone where it's like, okay, I have to hit this dB reading, or I have to hit this. So
Yeah.
trust your ears.
Yeah, I'd say like on a real basic level, like if you're a beginner, don't worry too much about crazy effects and stuff with mixing. Just worry about, yeah, you're getting your levels right. That's like the main thing to develop first.
Yeah.
And if you're using good presets, good source material, which again, it's just going to take a bit of time to develop. There's no shortcut around it, but just focus on that, and then sort of slowly start to branch out, learn a bit about EQing and how to, you know, shape sounds if needed. Sometimes it doesn't need to be EQ'd.
Yeah.
And learn a bit about, you know, compression, your delays, just slowly start branching out. And then once you got that foundation, then you can just start really experimenting, you know, and doing your thing. One little example, is a guy called Solomon who's just wrapping up his mentorship stuff. And I couldn't figure out what he was doing wrong with his beat, because I kept hearing it, and the beat, the leveling of the drums and the melody always sounded good, but his bass always sounded like squashed, like he was throwing a limiter on the master and like really
Right.
compressing the beat down to make it loud. But I was listening to it, and then I looked at one of his projects, and there was no limiter on there, just a clipper. I was like, what's going on? And then he went, oh, it might be this. And then he just walked me through his whole process. And he had this multi-band compressor, and he had this preset that he just had it as a template, and it was just dipping the low end, like completely dipping
Oh,
it
really?
from like 100 hertz,
What
maybe
was
like
that, on the
150.
master?
Yeah, on the master, or like a pre-master bus or something. And I was like, turn that off. He turned it off, and it was fine. And I was like, every single beat you've done up to this point has had that
No
sort of
way.
like sort of suppressed bass, and I couldn't figure it out. And I was like,
Yeah.
why is that on? I asked him why. He went, honestly, it was just, I've done it that many times that it's just my muscle memory.
Habit.
I just bring it up every beat, but I never even think how it's affecting the beat. And I was like, yeah. That's the issue. You got to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Not just, I'm going to do this because I've been told to do this by some engineer in a different, genre or something who did it one time because the bass
Yeah.
was too heavy. So, yeah. Gotta
That's
figure that
funny,
stuff
man.
out.
I had a similar thing like way back when I started producing, because when I started, well, there was a few things that I was doing, but I used to watch tutorials of professional like mixing engineers, maybe like old school engineers who were like fully against clipping, for example. So one thing I used to do was level everything under the red, like even my 808s and my kick, and I wondered why my beats just weren't hitting as hard. And it's like, it's because modern drill and trap producers will use a soft clipper and drive an 808 or a kick into it. So that was one thing. And then I also watched videos of mixing engineers where on the master they'd always have an EQ, and they'd be rolling off everything past like 20 hertz and then rolling everything past like 18k. And that can work if it's done right, but I noticed my another thing, like my low end just wasn't smacking, like my spins just wasn't like hitting the same. And then as soon as I turned that EQ off on my master, boom, it's like the low end was cutting through then.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just the type of EQ I was using, because if you use something that's not like a flat line or it's like a curve, obviously you're removing a lot of frequencies. Like obviously everything under 20 hertz you can't hear anyway, but when you're using these EQs as plugins, where you get that roll off, you're also cutting out some frequencies that as it's coming down, it's not like you're
fundamental
just
frequency
cutting off those 20. So it's just something to think about. It's like when you're watching mixing engineers or tutorials or anything, you don't have to stick to that exact process.
No.
It's like maybe that worked for that project, but people think that because they see something once they have to use it every time, or it's like a staple, but it's just not the case.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, like you say, it's case by case. So like the example video they may have watched might have been a beat with a guitar bass or a synth bass, where that roll off didn't really change the bass. It just kept everything the same. So it's like,
Yeah,
got to think about what you're using in your track compared to the examples what you're listening to and watching, and just make that decision,
definitely.
So
okay, it's actually quite a few, but let's see if there's a good one we can do. What mic do you use for recording vocals from the artists? I don't really record a lot of artists. I have used this mic before. What's funny is like I have like a few different mics, and then like when Gio came over, for example, his vocal sounded really good on this mic. Like I pulled out the other one and then we tried this one, and because this was just emphasizing his low end, he actually sounded pretty sick on it. So it can depend on the artist, but I've got this one. A really good one that most people like to use is the Neumann. There's a U87, and there's also what's the other one called? U87, which is quite expensive, and the TLM 103 I think is the other one. They're like quite popular ones, but expensive.
yeah.
For a long time I was just using a cheap one, and it was the SE X1. I just had like that starter bundle, and it did the job for a while, man. So
Yeah.
say don't even like overthink it at first. Most like mics these days can get you a good recording if it's mixed right.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to go too crazy in the beginning. Get a start. You can just get a budget-friendly one. I mean, this one's only 200 quid, I think. And then there's that really popular Audio Technica one that everyone always uses. Audio Technica mic. The what's it called? AT2050, I think. No. Audio Technica, AT2020. That's like £80. So if you're on a budget, just watch a little bit of a YouTube video, like top budget microphones, and honestly, most of them will do the job. Like, if you just start trying to get a clean take, you're not like crazy. You don't need all that information. You don't need like the best of the best. It's just you just need a clean mic, a clean recording. Just grab a budget friendly one.
Yeah, especially if your room isn't perfectly treated acoustically, because like some of these like high-end mics, they're going to capture every little detail, and if your room isn't treated right, you're going to capture all the bad detail as well, and it can make it even harder to mix. I've seen that happen as well, where people buy this like ultimate mic for their home setup, but they've got no acoustic treatment, and they're just capturing all these nasty frequencies that are bouncing off the walls, and it can make it even harder to mix. So one thing to think about. What else we got? This might be an interesting one, because Slow Gang Beat said, why haven't you produced for any big artists yet? But I feel like it's interesting because a lot of people might look at us and think, oh, they're not getting like placement after placement, but they're producers, like what's going on there? And we both do have placements with big artists that have come from what we're doing, but both of us are kind of similar. We don't really chase placements. like day to day, I'm not like emailing artists, messaging artists, not trying to get in all these sessions. So it just depends what your hustle is, man. Like my hustle is YouTube and growing a kit site. Your hustle is mentorship. Some people have a hustle of chasing placements. It just depends what path you choose.
Yeah,
It can
for sure.
overlap sometimes. Like obviously placements have happened on our journey as well, but it's just about what you do day to day. I think you have to pick your mission and pick your goal.
Yeah,
Like if placements is your goal, maybe making tutorials isn't the best thing to do. Because yes, it can help with your brand, but you're going to be spending so much time making videos and tutorials that your audience is going to be producers, and your time is going to be spent up doing that. So you're not going to have the same amount of time to chase placements. So I think it just depends what you want out of your journey, really.
yeah, for sure. I think it starts off with the majority. It starts off with wanting to chase placements, and then you either go all in with that, and that's like really what you want to do, and then
Yeah.
some people like I say they figure out, okay, this isn't the only path that's available to me. I can live a bit more of a lifestyle I want, where I can have my free time, my evenings free or whatever. I don't have to be kind of running off of someone else's schedule. You just kind of do your own thing, and that's like the YouTube lane, the business, like building your own business, which again isn't easy on its own. Like I'm not saying it's easy, but it's just a different path. And then there's the placement chase. And the thing is, well, I'd say, I mean, if they're asking you that question, like you do have credits, so I don't know what you've got for some pretty solid credits. So
I don't have a Drake one, but
not the Drake one, yeah. But you got
There's still some
gigs,
big ones there.
Got some pretty solid ones right there, man.
yeah, gigs was a big one for me, man. Like he's probably one of the most impactful UK rappers we've ever had, really. But yeah, hopefully that answers that. I think as well, we've mentioned it loads of times on the podcast, but we just like to be in control of our income. We like to be in control of our day-to-day life. It's like a lot of people who work with artists and that's their main thing. Like you can make a ton of money that way. Obviously, if you're making like hits, then you're getting included on the master recording royalties and everything like that. Then you can earn obviously a sick income. Like look at Metro Boomin, look at any like big producer. Obviously, there's money there, but I think day to day, I just like things to be more in my control. Like we can decide when to drop a kit. You can decide like when to introduce your mentorship. Like we're not relying on other people to release something. Whereas if you're working with artists and that's your only hustle, it's just like, yeah, you'll make a song with an artist, but it's down to them or the label to drop it. So
Yeah.
it's just out of your control. I've just never liked that. I've always kind of wanted to be my own boss, like be in control of my shit and not have to rely on other people. I think that's the main reason I kind of went down this path.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not to say, for any of you guys, like you don't have to pick one or the other. It's like you can have. I'd probably for us like we wanted to build something on our own that kind of lives and dies by us, and we know we've got the work ethic to keep it going. So that's like a good way to build your own foundation where you can support yourself financially and like realistically be in control of somewhat being in your own control of your income, because when it comes to like selling kits or the mentorship stuff, it's very metric based. Like I know if I drop a video that gets on average 5k views, I know I'm going to get X amount of leads for the mentorship. If Jay drops a video with like 10-20k views, he's going to get X amount of clicks or in a rough range of X amount of clicks to the website, and then of those people you're going to convert a certain amount. So it's like that's in your control. Whereas, there's about 50 other people you have to kind of navigate through potentially for a hit song, or, you're dealing with managers, A&Rs, labels, the artist. Even trying to get the beat in front of them is a mission on its own. And then you got a song recorded, great. Is it going to drop? Yes, no. Is the label going to like it? So you got all these other things to chase, which again isn't a bad lane to go down, but there's nothing to say you don't have to do both. You can build something that's reliable for you.
Harvey, man, he's a perfect example.
And that's like your bread and butter, and then you have your risky business where you do you chase a few placements, you try and network and put some money into stuff that might get you a big opportunity that could pay off further down the line. But you've got this bag that's risk, like way less risk, and it's going to support you, and you're not stressing now. You've got something that's more sustainable and that you're in control of.
Yeah, the 80-20 rule might even work there. Like,
Yeah,
I've got no
yeah, for
evidence to
sure.
back that up, but it could be 80% of the time is spent doing your one like main hustle, and then with the 20% use that as placement chasing or just your other little side hustles. But when you try and spread yourself too thin and cover everything, it can be a bit detrimental sometimes. So
Yeah, for sure.
it's
I
got to
think that's another
pick
little
your
thing
lane.
to just to touch on as well. I saw a video on it as well, and I've experienced it firsthand. It's a lot of people say, like entrepreneurs, like, yeah, definitely build multiple streams of income. Yeah, that's a good bit of advice, but only when your first level of your first source of income is like optimized. So like,
Yeah,
if you think right off rip you need to do a type beat channel, sell kits, try and blow up on YouTube, get placements,
yeah,
you're not going to have enough time to put enough energy into any of those to make them like successful. So if you want to get placements, just focus on placements. Don't worry about making a shitload of content. Just chase those placements, all energy into that. And then once you figured it out, you've got it down packed, cool, and then you can move on and start something else. But there's no chance you're building a business in the niche where people are dedicating all their energy to it whilst trying to, you're trying to build four of the income streams.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So,
Okay, we'll do a couple more. We'll probably wrap up in a minute.
yeah, cool.
Let me see. I'm just trying to pick a good one to finish on.
Yeah.
KY Triple X said, "How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?"
Fuck's sake. Classic kicks.
Mohammed said, "Should I stick to one genre and master it, or take bits from every little genre?" Because he's saying, like, should he just focus on one genre and become really good at that, or should he make a bit of everything?
I'd say in the beginning, depending on like how long you've been making beats, just from personal experience, I'd probably say just get really good at one style first. And then that gives you the foundation to then just be like, okay, if I want to try, like, let's say you get really good at trap, you understand the chord progressions, you spend a lot of time trying to make little spin-offs of trap, like melodic trap, and you learn all the chord progressions, you learn in all the different, like, your what you like to use in terms of sound selection, your drums, your BPMs, and you understand, like, why you're using a certain BPM, you understand why you're using a certain chord progression, why you're using certain drums, why you're arranging it a certain way. Then you have all that. Once you like mastered that, then like you can take that into most of the genres, and then it's just about then like, okay, if I want to go to this genre, I have to change the BPM because that's why the energy and the bounce is at this BPM, and then this certain kick works, whereas it wouldn't work in trap. So you understand that because you've really nailed down like that one genre in the beginning. So I'd say niche down in the beginning, year or two, and then just branch out after that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 80-20 rule could apply to that as well. In that instance, it's like spend 80% of the time on your main genre, and then have your experimental days as well if you're getting a bit burnt out. Because sometimes making the same thing constantly can tire you a bit, and you might get a bit bored. But it is good. I agree with you. It's like get really good at one thing, and then experiment with others as well. But it's
For
nothing
sure.
to stop you like occasionally just trying other stuff. Because you'll pick up new techniques from other genres. But yeah, just getting good at like one thing it is important, man. I think even just developing like one certain sound doesn't have to be like, oh, it's just making like trap beats, but I think just developing a sound in general is important. We spoke about it before, and we've kind of debated it, whether it's good to have one distinctive sound or whether you could be the guy who can make a bit of everything. But I think a lot of artists do go to producers because they've got a certain sound. So I feel like it's a good strength to have.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, get your signature sound down, and then again, like, people are going to know you for a certain sound, but then there's no rules to say you can't just go out and do other stuff. Those people won't even hear it maybe, but you're still out there experimenting and doing your own thing. Got the ability to switch it up. So yeah.
Fully.
Yep.
All right, man. We could wrap up there. There's some more questions, but we've covered most of them.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, sounds good. I thought we got a lot of stuff out there. I feel like when there's only two of us, we always get a load of like good value out to the listener. When it's three
there's
of
more
us, we just
gems,
chat
isn't there,
shit.
instead of just bullshitting.
Yeah, But it's good though, man. I think it's good to throw in these every now and then.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully you guys liked it as well. And we'll see you all in the next one.
Peace.